as it says up here, I am the geocaching guy. Geocaching is a modern day GPS treasure hunt, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that and what's all involved. But before I tell you anything about geocaching, I'm going to talk about something called nature deficit disorder. Has anybody heard of nature deficit disorder?
Yeah, something recently.
Yeah, well, it's actually been around many, many years. It was first sort of come up with by an American guy, Richard Lau, and he wrote a book called The Last Child in the Woods. And the whole thing about Last Child in the Woods, and not just children, adults as well, is that people don't spend time out connecting with nature anymore. We were talking earlier on about sat-navs and maps and people relying on phones for their navigation. They don't realise what pub they're walking past. Because people aren't out and about engaging with nature, they're losing a whole host of life lessons. They're not learning a sense of direction. They're not particularly learning observation skills. They're missing all the landmarks because they don't need to know what the landmarks are, because sat-nav says, get to the island, turn left. Why do you need to know which buildings you walk past, which knobbly tree in the wood is the one where you turn left to cross over the stream? And talking about crossing over the stream, as a child, I would be kicked out the door, lovingly kicked out the door, I hasten to add, by my folks, and they'd be like, go on, out you go outside and play. We don't want to see you back until it's dark. No mobile phones, just go off and do what you're going to do. We don't care where you go, what you do. Don't want to know who you're with, just go out. So I would go and play in the woods. I would walk through the fields. I would climb trees. And hopefully you guys have all done something very similar. And it's not just that playing things. As I say, there's all the other stuff that you learn while you're out doing this. So if I'm climbing up a tree, and I still climb trees with this athletic physique that I have, you realise that weight and little thin branches don't work. And you learn that physics, you learn about gravity, and you learn about self-assessing risk. Will that branch take my weight? Is it safe to climb up that tree? Or hang on a minute, this is a hawthorn bush. That's got spikes on it. I'm not going to go and climb in that one. And you learn all these sort of things by playing outdoors. And you'd be walking through the streams, splosh, 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 slip. That wasn't a safe thing to do, was it? Yeah, really good fun though. I nearly swore then. It was really good fun. So you come along the stream, and you've got the ditch, and you're like, oh, I'm going to jump this. No. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I could do it. Can I do it? Can I jump the stream? So no. Oh, that was fun. Oh, God! But you have all this fun in the outdoors, or at least people used to. Yeah. One of the geocaches that is one of my favourite ones, I've got a photo on here. It's not far from this tin mine in Cornwall. Tin mine, top of a cliff. Cliff, geocache. Okay, so I'm up. It's a long way down there. Don't like heights, but it's lower down there, and there's a geocache. I've got to go down this cliff. And on the cliff face, which is that sort of angle, there are metal staples. So I said, that's alright. Don't need any rope gear. Wish I had though. Haven't got crash helmets, but I'm going to go down this cliff face. So you're going down, you get down here where the geocache is at the bottom. I think, yeah, it's brilliant. I've got to go back up the top now. And me being me, where's my phone? Hi, I'm Adam. I'm the geocaching guy. I'm geocaching at the bottom of the cliff. So now I've got my phone and I'm trying to film myself climbing back up this cliff. soon gave up with that idea. Got to the top of the cliff. Really, really out of breath. Mix of adrenaline going. My heart's going. Oh, not on the mic. That's going to come across really loud. Edit that, please. So, you know, there's a video of me on YouTube where I've got to the top of this. I'm huffing and puffing. Totally out of breath. Totally unfit. But I loved every single minute of it. And that's one of the things about geocaching. One of the things about going out, playing outdoors. So geocaching, you go and find a physical container. I'm going to swear now. Pokemon Go. You go and have a look for a virtual thing. And you're walking along with your phone. Oh, it's here, bing. You walk straight past all these wonderful views because the thing you're looking for is on your phone. Geocaching, you go and find a real container. I'm just going to push Mark out of the way slightly. Because I have all sorts of containers. So a geocache could be a large Tupperware box. And the sound of that clip as it unlocks, almost like a champagne cork going up. There's alcohol coming. But inside some of the larger geocaches, you get all sorts of swag. So it could be key rings, it could be clips, it could be lanyards.
A bar of Graham's chocolate.
You wouldn't
No, you're not allowed to put food
you
in.
wouldn't put chocolate in there because it's going to melt. And animals are going to come along and try and eat it. So you wouldn't put anything overly scented like sprays, perfumes.
Ask that question.
Chocolate, yeah. But you get all sorts of things. So not all geocaches are this size though. Sometimes they get a little bit trickier. It could be something like this sort of tube hanging in a tree. Finding something like that is fairly easy to do. That hanging in a bush, perhaps a hawthorn bush, gets a little bit trickier. Now, to make it even more interesting, they get smaller still, and you actually get things like that looks like a fake rock. And at the back of it, you've got a little hollow, so you can actually put something in there. All geocaches will have a little piece of paper in it as a logbook for you to sign, just to show that you've been there. Now, sometimes they're in camouflage bags, in the middle of ivy, halfway up a tree, at the bottom of a cliff. But they kind of get smaller still. So you might get something that sort of size that's in a hollow tree. So you've got to reach in, hand through all the cobwebs, in through the spiders. And as you reach in, something reaches out and pecks you because there's a bird resting in there. It's all wonderful. Ants running up your arm.
So then it's very attractive.
Yeah, they get smaller still. And you reach in, maybe you feel something slimy. Maybe it's a slug. Maybe you put your hand onto a snail. But this is actually a geocache because it's a fake snail, and inside the bottom of the snail is a little bit of paper, a logbook. But I mean that's pretty small. But we don't want to be that easy. Sometimes you might find something that looks like a fake bolt. So you could be walking down a street and stuck on the back of a roadside is a fake bolt. And that unscrews. And inside it is a little bit of paper which you sign, put your name on it. That's pretty small. Do you reckon you could find something like that in the middle of a wood? How many of you have got really good eyesight? Because maybe, if you really want a challenge, you could try and find something that small in the middle of a wood. You imagine walking through this field here, and somewhere at the bottom of that blade of grass is that. Quite challenging. A lot of fun. And that's why we do it. Geocaching, you can go out, you can do blind, but each one gives you an idea of its difficulty and its terrain rating. So if you are going to have to do something where you might need to go scuba diving, abseiling, rock climbing, potholing, caving, needing torches, waders, anything like that, you get told this is something a little bit more interesting. It's got a higher difficulty rating, higher terrain rating, sorry. You also get told of its difficulty, terrain and size. So you've got an idea what you're going for, and quite often the person that's hidden that for you, and there are nearly 3 million of these things all over the world. A couple 100,000 pretty much in the UK. So like a rat or a BNI member, you're never far from a geocache. Now, one of the things, you know, with geocaching is saying difficulty, terrain, size, clues, hints. 4 years ago, when I was doing the magazine, perhaps closer to 3 years ago, there was a massive thing in the geocaching community. There's nearly 2 million worldwide. And in just those 3-4 years, it's doubled to nearly 3 million geocaches worldwide. So if you want to go and look for some of those, you've got 3 million pretty much to go and choose from. And there's about 15 million people all over the world doing this crazy hobby, going into hollow trees, looking for things like that. Why do we do it? Because it's fun. So where's it going to take you? You could be in central London, big urban area, following the route of the Jack the Ripper murders, where the bodies were found, where various things happened. You could follow the Great Trail of London, the Fire of London. You could be off at the seaside, you could go to all sorts of wonderful places, caves in the Lake District that we used to film Snow White and the Huntsman, nice lakeland views, Tamworth Castle, disused railways. You learn about heritage, you learn about waterways and navigations and logs, and while you're out doing all of this, as it says on this banner here, you know, you're getting all sorts of extra bits and pieces. The things that I mentioned when I first started about nature deficit disorder and what you get by learning outdoors. It's brilliant. Now, this isn't a sales pitch. You can download, if you've got a mobile phone, you can download free apps to go and have a go at geocaching. It doesn't cost you anything. You can create a free account on the geocaching.com website, and you can be doing this for years and years in, and it doesn't cost you a penny. Okay, you've got the sort of add-on costs like you need petrol if you're buying food and drink, but you have that no matter where you go. To actually go geocaching does not cost you a penny. It can do, but it doesn't have to. And the whole thing is, it's done by volunteers to make sure that it's there and it's free for people to get involved with. I know that Graham at the back of the room here, he actually does some geocaching himself. So because he's an experienced geocacher, I need his help with the next thing. So I've got some more interactive geocaches.
Oh, good.
So at the top of this tube, in a hollow tube, there's a geocache at the top. Would you like to take it out for me? And while Graham here is doing that,
I'll work it out.
I need somebody else to help me get the logbook out of that one. So I need another volunteer to have a go. You're at the front, so I need you to help me take the logbook out of that one. And then, haven't you done that yet?
It's I know who made this.
Okay.
I met him.
In this one here, there's a combination log, and there are 4 blocks. So I need another volunteer. You're at the front. Welcome.
We have.
So what you need to do is you need to put those blocks in the right order to get the combination to open that. So have some fun. So while you're all doing that, this goes to show just how creative and fun some of this geocaching can be. So Graham has still not got his long thing out. So already here I can see we have the gentleman trying to assist. So we've got a bit of team building going on here. Would you like me to give you a hand?
No. Don't you not being able to do it.
Oh.
You've got a totem pole, Graham.
No, well, I don't know whether this is this one of those that's made by Jacob.
Yes. There you go, can you put it back in, please? Hopefully the camera saw how I did that. And if you want to watch this back later, you'll have seen. No, I didn't unscrew anything, no tools. Geocaches are never buried. Still going?
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
Next time I see the guy that made this, I'll...
You've not been doing it so long then, Graham.
How are we doing with the combination?
Put it back in.
Yeah, blow on it.
Okay.
Tap it.
So I don't know how I'm doing on time. This is coming up to about 20 past. So hopefully in that whistle stop tour, I've shown you some stuff about why geocaching is important. But it's not just geocaching, it could be anything really that gets you out and about. The National Trust did a thing called 50 Things to Do Before You're 11 3/4, which actually worked on with the guy I mentioned, Richard Lau. And on that list, number 49 I think it is geocaching. Well done!
Yay!
In there is the piece of paper to sign.
So, yeah. In fact, actually, now put it back in. Volunteered. Oh,
Your geocaches,
yeah. Oh, it's just the lid that screws on the top. So, I've shown you some of the places you can go with geocaching. If you're going on holiday anywhere in the world, you can have a look for geocaching. If you're going to take your kids on a day out, if you look at some of these big national attractions, I won't mention any, but I do like playing with Lego, then they're going to charge you a lot of money before you've even got out of the car park, just to go in, just to sit there. And then you've got expensive food, where you could go geocaching, have all this fun outdoors, doing some of the daft things that I've mentioned, and so much more besides. You could be doing that for free. And how much more quality time would you get with your friends, with your family, with anybody you want to just go out, go for a walk, have that bit of mindfulness, switch off. I was going to say switch off from technology, but you kind of need technology with you for this. But you're out, you're engaging with nature. You're learning much more about the environment. Discover yourself through geocaching. Are you scared of the dark? Are you scared of spiders? Are you scared of claustrophobia? Things like that worry you. Getting out and about, learning outdoors, playing outdoors, building dens, falling in streams, anything like that, it's all good fun. So I'm not going to say any more, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
I've just realised that they all come apart.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Given the size of the containers, how small they are, is it a prerequisite then that you have to be able to write very small if you're going to be recording?
Yeah, a lot of people on the smaller ones do just put their initials.
So does somebody come along at some stage and then take that information and record it elsewhere? So
yeah, what happens is every time you find the geocache, you can then log it on the website or the app that you use, and then that creates a tally of how many you've found. Every geocache has a cache owner, the person who put it out there. They're responsible for it. So if they get a note that says, "Oh, I found a geocache today," the logbook's full. They will have to go back out and do some maintenance to make sure that it's a fresh bit of paper in there for people to sign. If people can't find it, they will go out and check that it's still there. So it's a really good hobby because it's a community and brings a lot of people together. With some of the geocaching events, we had an event earlier on in 2016. Notice how I put the year in there, so that next year, when I say earlier on this year, if they're watching this video in January, I'll put that in as a forward thinking. We went up to Llangollen in North Wales, and there must have been about 3,000 geocachers from all over the world who just descended on Llangollen. Really, really good community event. we have weekend camping events, and I'm probably out of time now. If you have got any further questions, I'm in no rush to go home.
What's the combination?
I can't remember. I'll show you how that works. There's some little magnets on the blocks.
Yeah.
So when you line it up the right way and all the magnets link together, it'll tell you the code.
Just quickly, what proportion of the you've had some really interesting ones. The idea of abseiling down a cliff, to be quite honest, my time of life is not something that is hugely appealing. So, what proportion would you say are more the heritage, walking, that sort of thing?
Pretty much all of them are heritage and walking. A lot of them could just be in a local footpath that you might find 3 streets away from you. There's a brideway you never knew was there, and it's just using the geocaches that gets you outside. So I don't know. I would probably say 80-90% are easy-ish, and they could be Tupperware boxes or 35mm film canisters. They're not some of the big exciting containers like that, but I use that to show you some of the diversity.
So there's a start.
Yeah, and to say the app will give you an idea of difficulty, terrain, and size, and a hint, and you can see what people have left, and sometimes there are photo spoilers where people have been out and taken a photo of it.
Can you sleep at night when you've not found one?
No. I quite often will go back to a place 3, 4, 5 times, possibly years later. So if I've been like down today, I'm going to go and look some geocaches after this. I hope I find them because it'll be a while before I'm back in Basingstoke, but I will come back and I will try and find them again.
In terms of routes, you've got the GPS.
Yes.
I mean, I always walk with my dog, so I need footpaths and whatever. Do they all stick to? Is it obvious to stick to?
Some of them are on footpaths. Some of them they will have you tramping through fields and woods, and they will take you off the beaten track. You will get bitten by mosquitoes. You will get scars and scrapes and cuts, but that's half the fun.
Is it always legal access?
It should always be legal access. They should always be placed with landowners' permission, and ideally in places that are accessible pretty much 24/7 free of charge. So it's not like you've got to pay £20 to go into some fancy gardens to go and find one.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
We're out of time, but yeah, thank you for that.
Is there anything in there? Oh,
Yeah. Yay! Oh,
You can sign it. You can sign it.
can I sign it?
Yeah, you can sign if you want.
Yay!
Is that
Oh.
I didn't even try.
How are you with the stick?
No, it's done.